Hey, what's up, everybody? So coming to you this morning with another 2020 mid-year top 10. This division, we're going to be looking at the 135-pound lightweight division. This is my number, 5 division in boxing right now. So we're getting up to the top divisions. We're going to take a look at what's happened so far this year and what's going on in the second half of the year, coming out of the, at least coming out of the pandemic, at least the boxing coming back from all that stuff, and who's going to be fighting and when. So first we got to look at any guys that possibly dropped out of the top 10, and there weren't any from last year. I don't believe I had anybody that dropped out, so everybody's still the same because there hasn't been a lot of things going on at lightweight. So let's jump right into it and see who's doing what, as we start with number 10, the former 3-division world champion, Ricky Burns. Burns pretty much made it clear that he is going to be returning. He wants to make one last run, possibly fight at home in Scotland, and, just get right back in the mix of things. He doesn't really have an opponent yet. He's not ranked by any governing body, so he's going to have to get in there and, try to impress some people. I think he's just going to come back once or twice before the end of the year, stay busy, shake out some rust. He's coming off that loss to Lee Selby last October in a close fight. So, that's what I think he's going to do. Next, and still number 9, is the former world champion. Actually, Ricky Burns wasn't ranked. I'm sorry about that. We had somebody dropped out, and I'm not quite sure. Oh, it was Rances Barthelemy dropped out of the top 10 because he had a fight scheduled up at 140. And that hasn't happened, but I believe that's where he's going to be competing. He's ranked in those rankings at 140 right now. He's ranked by a couple governing bodies. So Barthelemy drops out of the top 10. Burns was not in the top 10. He's currently bumping in for, his first time this year. So, again, Lee Selby moves up one spot from number 10 to number 9. He is the former featherweight champion. He moved up last year, got a couple wins in 2019, and now has turned that into a mandatory title fight. He was supposed to face undefeated George Kambosos Jr. in a final eliminator, IBF final eliminator in May. That fight got scratched due to the coronavirus. Now these two guys are going to be locking horns. It looks like October 3rd. That should be on DAZN. And personally, I think Selby's probably going to beat Kambosos, but that's only because I haven't seen or heard of George Kambosos. He's undefeated. He could pull this out. He's the younger, bigger fighter. Selby's the veteran. We'll see what he does. But it looks like October 3rd hasn't been 100% finalized, but it looks like that's when those guys are going to lock horns. Okay, next at number 8, moving up one spot from number 9, is French contender Yvan Mendy. Mendy hasn't done anything yet this year. He's the WBC's number 5 ranked contender. I believe Mendy, is on a very short list to get a title shot against champion Devin Haney next. They basically are having a 4-man box-off right now to determine the next number 1 contender. They got an interim title fight going on between Ryan Garcia and Luke Campbell, and they have a WBC gold or WBC silver or diamond belt, which basically is just putting guys at number 1 and 2 in the division between Jorge Linares and Javier Fortuna. So Mendy sitting there, pretty much the number 5 guy. I think he's got a good opportunity to land a fight with Devin Haney next. Now, haven't heard anything about this. I just think the fight makes sense. Like, go in there against a guy who's got some experience and take him on, and I think it would be the smart move by Haney. I'm hoping we hear something soon, as the Haney's with Matchroom. I hope Eddie Hearn and them get something scheduled for Haney soon, and I really do hope it's against Yvan Mendy, because Mendy's never had a title fight, and that would be a big deal. So we'll see. Other than that, I think he probably is just going to stay busy, and fight once or twice before the end of the year if he does not get the Haney fight. But if he fights Haney, I think he's going to lose. So that's just me. All right, next at number 7 is former junior lightweight champion at 130, Javier Fortuna. Fortuna, he moves up one spot from number 8. he had a mandatory title shot lined up. He was supposed to fight Luke Campbell for the vacant title. Then Devin Haney, because of the pandemic, he was able to rehab his injury, and he requested that he get reinstated as the WBC champion. The WBC agreed, and then they were talking about Campbell and Fortuna for the interim title. So that got looked like it was going to the wayside when Campbell seemed to be the front runner to land a Haney fight. Fortuna's camp was threatening, legal action if they did that. And then didn't hear anything after that. And recently, I hear Javier Fortuna is going to face Jorge Linares instead. This is pretty much going to be for the number 2 spot in the WBC. Kind of a 4-man box-off they're putting together here. And it's a good fight. I think Fortuna's got a solid chance of winning. I personally think he's going to lose the fight to Linares. That fight's supposed to take place on August 28th on DAZN. But I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a good fight. 2 technicians right here. 2 guys that could also punch. They throw punches. Should be interesting. I like the fight. 2 veterans. I'm going with Linares, but I do think Fortuna has the opportunity to not just beat Linares, but knock him out, which would be a big deal for his career and move him into, closer to a title shot. So we'll see. But again, August 28th between those 2 is what the projected date is supposed to be. Okay, next and still number 6 is former IBF champion Richard Comey. Comey was supposed to come back in April and just stay, bounce back from that loss to Teofimo Lopez last year when he lost the title. He got knocked out in 2 rounds. It didn't happen, though, because of the pandemic. So he never got anything finalized. It just was, being discussed. Right now, Comey is number 7 in the WBC. That's his highest ranking. I personally think he's just going to come back and take 1 or 2 stay busy fights, shake off the rust, try to move himself in position for something else before the end of the year, into an eliminator, and kind of let all the other guys just do their thing. So it's probably going to be a slow roll before Comey gets seriously back into the mix where he's fighting for a title, but he needs to shake that off, and I think he will, and I think that's what he's going to do. Next, and still number 5, is the undefeated WBA regular lightweight champion Gervonta Davis. Well, Davis, there was a lot of projection that he was going to be fighting Leo Santa Cruz in June. They were looking for a pay-per-view date. The coronavirus pushed everything back. They were speculating whether that was still going to happen. And right now it looks like it's still in the cards. It's still going to happen. They're talking about the fall, possibly October. We just don't know what division it's going to take place at. Santa Cruz, for a while there, was saying that the fight had to take place at 130. Personally, I don't think Davis can make 130 to fight for Santa Cruz's title. So I really think it's going to be, if it's not at the full lightweight limit of 135, I think they're going to probably fight at a catch weight, maybe 132, 133. Either way, even if he goes all the way down to 130, I think Davis is going to win. But if it's anywhere above 130, I think Davis has a good chance of beating the shit out of Leo Santa Cruz, winning by knockout, and retaining his lightweight title. So that's what I think is going to happen for Davis this year. And hopefully we hear something soon about the announcement of that fight. Next, and still number 4, is former 2-time world title challenger Luke Campbell, the United Kingdom. Well, Campbell was set to fight Javier Fortuna for the vacant WBC title. That got scrapped, and the WBC reinstated Devin Haney, who had recovered from his injury, and the pandemic had shut all boxing down. So they reinstated him. Then it looked like Campbell and Fortuna were still going to compete for the interim title. That got scrapped, and now they have went their separate ways, but Campbell is still going to compete for the interim world title next against the young, undefeated, very talented Ryan Garcia. Going to be interesting to see if Campbell can pull this one out. I personally, because of Garcia's talent, I think he's going to beat Campbell, but if anybody has a chance to beat Ryan Garcia, I think it is definitely Luke Campbell. So that's a projected fight. They're currently in negotiations right now. Personally, I think the fight's probably going to happen in September. I wouldn't be surprised if it lands on Canelo's undercard in Vegas, but we'll see. But yeah, it should be very interesting to see what goes down in that fight, and we'll see how well Campbell does against the youngster. Next, and still number 3, is the former 3-division world champion Jorge Linares. Well, Linares was projected to be facing Ryan Garcia. Linares came back in January and destroyed veteran Carlos Morales in only 4 rounds. Then he was supposed to be fighting July 4th against Ryan Garcia. That was, the projected fight that was on the table. And then neither side, the fight wasn't going to happen. I know Garcia's having a lot of issues with Golden Boy right now, trying to lock down a fight. So Linares moved on. He's going to be facing Javier Fortuna pretty much for the WBC's number 2 spot. This is a big time fight right here. I can't wait to see it. I think it could go either way. I'm picking Linares. I think his style is better. I think he can win it, but he's been caught before. I think Fortuna's got the pop to hurt him and possibly stop him, and it should be a good technical battle too. So very, very good matchup. It looks like it's going to take place August 28th on DAZN, and I can't wait to see it. So make sure you're paying attention to that. Next, and still number 2, is the undefeated reigning IBF champion, Teofimo Lopez. Well, Lopez has waited around all year, and it looks like the fight's finally here. It looks like October 3rd, him and Vasily Lomachenko are going to be locking horns for the lightweight title, or for the unification of all the lightweight belts, the 3 lightweight belts. Should be very good. I really can't wait to see it. Lopez is going to be coming in as the underdog. Again, it looks like October 3rd is the projected date right now, and I think it's going to be a very a decent battle, but Lopez is definitely coming in a sizable underdog. We're going to see how he does against the best fighter, especially coming off a 10-month layoff. That should be interesting as well. And 10 months ago, well, by the time the fight happens, it's going to be pretty much a full 10 months, but it was also only 2 rounds that he fought against Richard Comey. So how does he handle that coming back from the pandemic? We'll see. Should be ESPN pay-per-view, and I really can't wait to see it. Should be good. And finally is Vasily Lomachenko, the reigning unified lightweight champion. Vasily waited around through the pandemic, discussed. It looked like it was happening no matter what, and it looks like it's going to happen, no doubt, between him, the unification bout between him and Teofimo Lopez. As I said, it looks like October 3rd. Looks like ESPN pay-per-view. Hasn't been finalized as of yet, but that's what they're looking at, and I really can't wait to see this fight. I think it's going to be a very good, very interesting fight. Personally, I think Lomachenko is going to break him down. He's either going to stop Lopez late, or he's going to win a one-sided decision and prove he's the best in the lightweight division, but we'll see. It should be good. So that's it. That's the 2020 mid-year top 10 on the lightweight division, 135. Hope you guys enjoyed it. A lot of things going on at lightweight. All right, True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.